This video is for the audio video recording for class TCH 520 for Grand Canyon University. This is Jamie Marie Drake. The reading program that I'm about to review for this class is a reading program that's implemented into the charter high school that I work for, called Winfrey Academy Charter Schools. I am the pregnancy-related services facilitator, so I work with students who are on maternity leave from having their babies, and I deliver one-on-one instruction in all content areas to grades 9 through 12. So I personally have not taught any direct lessons from this program. However, there are elements of this program that I have supported the specialists that do deliver the direct lessons, as well as the content teachers once the girls go back to the classroom. The content teachers also support the program in the same manner that I do, in that they help collaborate with the specialists, the reading specialist and the ELL specialist that drive this program, and help them determine what accommodations are best for each individual student based on the particular content that is being worked on in the curriculum at the level that the student is currently. The curriculum program that our high school students utilize is unique to most high schools. It's a self-paced program, so you could have 5 students in one classroom that are all in English 1, but they're all in different levels of English 1. So the reading program is also individualized. It provides for mostly one-on-one instruction, but it also includes and incorporates small group instruction for those students who are in the same area of curriculum, but may be in various reading stages or levels. This allows them to collaborate with each other, spark creativity, and it also allows them to exchange ideas to help reinforce that language and hear how the language is expressed with others who are at various levels. The reading program has no official name. It's created within the curriculum department of Winfrey Academy. However, it was initiated in 2013 as a targeted success initiative for our ELL, SPED, and 504 students. Other students are sent in unofficially if teachers send a referral and the resources permit. One of the deficiencies in the program that was identified when analyzing this program is the resource allocation. There are 6 high school campuses within this charter school district, and there are only 2 reading specialists that divide their time up between 3 campuses each. This allows for limited resources in one-on-one time and very tight scheduling. Our students are designated as at risk, 96% of the population that we serve. This means that they have many gaps in learning, and many of our students struggle with reading comprehension and abilities. A lot of our students are below level. Most of them are. They're sent to us from the regular ISDs in the areas all over the Metroplex. We serve 4 different counties in Texas, and they are sent to us as a preventative measure to dropping out or getting a GED. This is a very difficult but rewarding task for our faculty and our educators. But this also means that any practices and programs that we implement must be scientifically research-based, and they must be effective, because we receive reviews from the Texas Education Association just the same as regular ISDs, and we have a much harder charge put upon us. The way that the brain learns to read is based on phonetics, phonological awareness, recognizing and manipulating sounds and speech, letter sound relations, and word building and manipulating letters and word sounds in print. Comprehension is also a major part of reading and reading skill level acquisition. Understanding the content and relating it to existing knowledge and experience is important, because students can learn a word, but if they can't properly utilize it or relate it to utilize it in their everyday life, it will not become a part of their long-term memory, thus not valuable to them in their academic ventures. The major findings and insights from the analysis conducted of this program prove that this program is effective. The students that have experienced this program for a full school year have shown marked improvement. Effective reading has been proven through state exams and also through independent assessments on campus provided by the reading specialists. The process begins with the students being referred either as an ELL or a special education SPED or a 504 student. And the student's file is reviewed by the specialist and the content teachers, and the former accommodations that have been provided to the students on their IEP is taken into consideration, as well as a formal and informal assessment with the student directly to determine what their skill level currently is, if there are any additional gaps in learning that have not been identified. A lot of our students have gaps in time in learning. Some of them may miss 6 months or a year in schooling due to moving around or being homeless, various reasons. So those must be identified because they're not always documented. Then the specialist and the content teachers and any other pertinent faculty members, such as myself, the pregnancy-related services, if applicable, collaborate in a meeting, and they determine and create a reading success plan for the students. This is comprised of the student's current skill level. It's a folder that includes all assessments and assertions of their current skill level, the recommendations of how to move forward, and it must include several variations of learning techniques that will be implemented in the one-on-one instruction as well as in the classroom that all of the participants and faculty support system will agree to utilize. Research shows that learning requires not just visual, not just audio, but also hands-on tactical learning as well. So all of these are brought into consideration and success plans are created. It's also scientifically proven that as much as the cognitive development must be supported, the emotional development also must be supported, especially in teenagers, and even more importantly in teenagers that have additional struggles placed upon them. These students are very delicate, but they're also very resilient. And so it's very important to the school and the development of this program that everything associated with it, any label whatsoever, is a positive label that reinforces the students to achieve success and that every person and every position believes in them. We actually don't even refer to our students as at risk. It's just a term that's commonly known and recognized and used in the educational world. Our students are referred to as at promise because we recognize the promise in each student, not the risk that they pose. So the learning plan is put together through this collaborative effort, and it could include anything ranging from students who know zero English. We have 17 different languages currently that our students speak. And so they determine whether they need to start at the basics and begin with the alphabet and letter association, or if they're intermediate, or if they just have a minor learning gap and they need to get caught up on level. However, regardless of the level and the specific tasks, they all include hands-on activities, individual group learning, and one-on-one read-aloud sessions. We also have reading phones. They are plastic PVC pipes that serve as a phone that the student puts up to their face, and they speak into one end and they can hear it in the other. It's been scientifically proven that in order for the brain to learn reading at the most efficient pace and to acquire language, it is important that the student hear how they are pronouncing a word. You might notice that I have an accent, so me teaching a student how to speak proper English might pose a difficulty to that student if they also have a different accent. It's very important that they're able to hear themselves speak the language, and then they're able to self-correct and hear how it sounds versus a proper recorded version of each word in context. Moving on from that is the comprehension portion. Teachers in the classroom, as well as the specialists when they do the one-on-one service that may range from an hour each day to an hour each week. They provide them with opportunities to express their skill level and show their success in their plan. So they'll provide them with opportunities to speak in front of the class as long as it's a supportive environment for them to do that. If the student has anxiety issues or is not comfortable with that, the assignment will be modified so that they can do an independent presentation for the teacher in an isolated area. But this allows them to speak publicly, get comfortable with saying words out loud, as well as writing them. Speaking language and writing language are two different parts of the brain, and it's very important that the students are equally allowed to acquire language skills in all areas of the brain. The compatible parts of this program to the lessons in this course were the varied teaching techniques to support the individualized approach within the school as well as the individualized approach with the students. It was compatible with the research in this course in the sense that it supports the fact that students need to have more than one way to express and show their reading and comprehension skills, as well as varied ways of acquiring those skills. And this program effectively enables them to do that. The parts that were not compatible were the limited resources. Research shows that learning must be consistent, and unfortunately, this is a variable that the program struggles with. Again, there are 2 reading specialists that execute this program for 6 campuses, and of course, there are budgetary and political and hiring issues that go into all of that in any school district, but that does put a grave limitation on the ability to serve these students with such a large population. It's a higher population at this school district than most because the other surrounding school districts send the students that would fall through the cracks at their schools to our school. So it's even more important that we have the resources that we need to serve these students, or we're just allowing them to continue to fall through the cracks by not giving the amount of time and attention that they need and they deserve to acquire effective language and reading skills. The classroom instruction and student learning activities are based on the knowledge of brain regions and specialization in the sense that the educators in the classroom are provided with this information by the specialists. It's assumed that all educators go through a certain amount of knowledge acquisition themselves through the process of becoming an educator. However, it is not assumed that this information is retained. So in the initial meeting for the success plans, the specialists review the importance of incorporating all the various techniques and styles and learning methods with the students, and they reinforce that with the teachers so that they check for understanding that these things are actually going to happen in the classroom, and the classroom and content teacher understand and are comfortable with executing what is being asked and what is being planned in the student success plan. Bloom's taxonomy of cognitive domain is supported through assessment-based goal plans. The reading success plans are created and implemented for students. They do follow the model of create, evaluate, analyze, apply, understand, and remember. Every success plan is actually modeled in this form. So the plan starts with creating the plan for the student. It also starts with creating lessons where the student has an opportunity to create and demonstrate the knowledge that they already have so that we can assess where we need to go from there. That is the evaluation process where we evaluate what the student needs, and the student's also able to evaluate and give feedback on their level of comfort and where they would like to go. It is a collaborative effort between the students and the faculty, and that's part of what makes it such a great success. The teachers and the students all analyze progress. The students are responsible for tracking their own progress as well. They're also responsible for studying in their own time since they're only required to attend school 4 hours a day and the resources with the specialists are limited. They apply their learning in the classroom and they also apply their learning in real life. The assignments that are created in such a way that it demands the students to facilitate unit activities in their own homes on their own time. These unit activities incorporate their life experiences so that they connect their learning to the classroom. This helps them understand and remember the lessons being taught so that they can then apply it in the real world. This environment also supports emotional thinking and development by creating a safe, isolated, and inclusive learning space. Since the students receive one-on-one instruction and they are in isolated learning environments, this provides them with a safe space where they don't feel afraid that they're going to be ridiculed or bullied because they have an accent and they pronounce things in a different manner, or they have to sound things out before they can say a whole sentence, or they say the wrong word in the wrong usage type. This allows them to become comfortable with the language before interacting fully with their peers so that when they do interact in the classroom, they feel pride and accomplishment with themselves and are able to learn more efficiently and more effectively. The suggested improvements to implement for this program are very few. The program does prove to be very effective and it is scientifically based. However, we do have the limitation of the resources on site, so that would be number one, to improve, to hire a specialist for each of the 6 campuses. I've actually spoken with administration and that has been on the agenda, and it is just a matter of resources and financing. The additional suggested improvement for this program would be to offer community resource courses. It has been proven, studies have shown that students who have learning reinforced at home learn better and retain the information longer. So when students come to us with language acquisition problems, typically it's a language barrier. They speak another language. Sometimes it's also that they have learning gaps, and this allows the parents and the family members to come and join the students in this language acquisition journey so that when it is practiced at home, it's encouraged rather than discouraged. What has been found is that when students speak a different language primarily at home than what they're learning at school, when they get home, they don't use the skills that they're being taught in school because there's no one at home to help reinforce that. If a community outreach program, such as after school or allowing or hiring specialists to work during night school, which is held at this district, on various nights, even a couple of nights a week, that would encourage the families to then become a part of the educational process, not only improve their reading comprehension and their understanding of the language, but also to help support the students in their journey as well. This analyzation of the reading program has proven to be very insightful, and I'm looking forward to using the findings from this research to better serve my students in the future.